Okay, every NBA team's breakout candidate. Shout out to Greg Swartz. Cam Reddish for the Hawks. I mean, in my breakout players video, I put DeAndre Hunter, but if you want more deep cuts, then I guess Cam would be the guy. I mean, the question with Cam is just, can he make shots, Catch and shoot threes, pull up mid-rangers, any sort of a floater game. Can he be just confident going to the rim and not being affected too much by rim protectors and all that? Because the handle is there, the size is there, the athleticism is there. He's already good on defense. But eventually you just got to be able to make shots, and that's the question with him. Time Lord for the Celtics. Yeah, I think this one's pretty obvious. I mean, I keep saying it. The hope is that he can be the Celtics version of Clint Capella, and he does have a bit more of a passing game than you might know if you're not watching the Celtics day in and day out. Like, he can make passes from the elbows to cutters and all that. Maybe gaining a little bit of weight, but not too much. You want to maintain the verticality and also just staying healthy. Nick Claxton for the Nets. Honestly, a lot of what I just said about Time Lord, I can say the same about Claxton. Although the one thing with Claxton is just a matter of how many minutes is he going to get. But we already see the switch potential, and he can finish at the rim, so Miles Bridges for the Hornets. Yeah, we saw him improve so much as a finisher this previous year, where fast breaks, catch and shoot threes. They played him at technically power forward. Maybe it was technically some small ball center at times. I think we're going to see more of that. Can he do anything off the dribble? I think that's the next question. Patrick Williams, yeah, unfortunately he just had, an ankle sprain? Whatever it was, so he is a little doubtful for the beginning of the season. I mean, look, man, I already made a video talking about how I think the guy has star potential because of his mid-range shooting, and he just has a lot of these little moments where he goes off the dribble and goes into a pull-up jumper, or he just kind of physicals his way to the basket. I think he still needs to gain a little bit of weight, but there's a lot of potential for him to do stuff off the dribble. I think the jumper's got a lot of potential. Whether that will happen on this specific Bulls team, I don't know. But it's also nice because it gives him time to develop that stuff and not have that pressure on him to be a scorer and all that. He could be a breakout player defensively, I'll tell you that much. Isaac Okoro for Cleveland. And the thing I keep saying with him is he Stanley Johnson, or will he grow to being, let's say, like OG Anunoby? OG this past year was awesome from three. Can Okoro make a similar jump, or is it going to be more as a ball handler for him? I mean, in a perfect world, it's both, but you don't always get that in the NBA. Jalen Brunson for Dallas. If you're looking for somebody who can take some ball handling pressure off of Luka, Brunson's the one guy on the roster right now. Bull for the Nuggets. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if the Bull thing is going to happen. But I also don't know who you would pick besides him. I mean, I guess PJ Dozier, that would be the choice for the Nuggets. Isaiah Stewart for the Pistons. I think this is a good one. The one thing I always say about Isaiah Stewart is that the guy plays hard as hell, and that matters. 12 points, 9 boards, 2 blocks, shot 50% in the last 15 games. It is kind of wild to go with Isaiah Stewart over Killian Hayes, but I don't think it's crazy either. But Killian did not get much of an opportunity last year because of the injuries. James Wiseman for the Warriors. Yeah, I don't know who else you would really pick. I mean, it's him, 2 rookies. Well, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole would be the breakout guy that I would go with more. And the thing with Wiseman, as I've said before, a lot of it still is that he's just barely played professional basketball. Like, he played, 3 games in college or something? He was injured last year. Like, this stuff's hard, man. Especially for a big guy where you gotta defend pick and rolls and switch onto perimeter players some and defend in the post. Like, it's just difficult. Kevin Porter Jr. for the Rockets. Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, is he going to be the primary ball handler? If he can prove to be a guy who you can really run offense through efficiently like that, besides the random huge point game or whatever, then that's a hell of a beginning of a rebuild with KPJ, Jalen Green, and Christian Wood, assuming Christian Wood wants to stay past this contract. Is it as good as if they just traded for Ben Simmons and whatever else? I don't know, but this is the route they went, and it's the best it could have gone. Also Şengün as well. And Christopher Jason Tate. Goga Batadze for the Pacers. Yeah, Batadze remains a guy who I always like kind of keep an eye on with his minutes and stuff because I mean he was the 18th pick in the draft, and if he got selected anywhere but the Pacers, he would have played more by now. But they still have Turner and Sabonis, so it's kind of like wait and see. Like I've always wondered if some team will trade for him, like some team that needs a center. Terance Mann for the Clippers. We'll see if he's going to get more ball handling opportunities. I mean, you imagine PG is obviously the number one option. Then it's going to be a mix of Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, I would guess. So if Terance Mann is number 4 on the pecking order, okay. Then if Kawhi comes back, he goes down one spot, but that's fine. He's become an elite 3-point shooter off the catch and the dribble. That's a good stat. Can I just say, this is like a great article. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Talen Horton-Tucker for the Lakers. I mean, he's kind of the only candidate. The team is old as hell. I don't think anyone is expecting Rajon Rondo to break out. Yeah, I mean, with THT, he likes to handle the ball, and he does have some real skills off the dribble. It's just with LeBron, Westbrook, and AD, you're going to need shooting, and is he going to be okay with just playing off of everything and going some stretches without touching the ball and just being expected to make corner threes and all that? I mean, I do think he's going to take it off the dribble some if the defense is ignoring him like that. But you're going to have to make threes. And between his 1 year in college and his 2 seasons in the NBA, granted he didn't play a whole lot his rookie year, but still, the percentages from 3 for him have been like low 30s, high 20s even, which is of course not good enough. The other question I have is what is the starting 5 for the Lakers exactly? Like, I assumed it was going to be Dwight starting at center, but now I'm seeing more about potentially AD starting at center. Also, who is the starting guard next to Westbrook? Because if it's THT, I mean, that's not a shooter. I feel like Wayne Ellington might just not be able to move on defense anymore. I mean, Ariz is like your prototypical 3-and-D guy. Malik Monk is more of a shooter. Kendrick Nunn is more of an offensive guy who I guess has the best like off the dribble game amongst most of the guys besides THT. I don't know. Desmond Bane for the Grizzlies. It pains me to see him, man. The Celtics, they traded him away, and then they let Semi Ojeleye go this previous offseason because they finally realized that Ojeleye isn't good. Like, you could have just had Desmond Bane. Like, Desmond Bane was the finished product of Semi Ojeleye and Tyler Herro. The Heat are going to need Tyler Herro because their depth is like kind of not great. I mean, Oladipo, we hope he gets through a season, but I don't know if we can trust it at this point. PJ Tucker is a 0 on offense. Their backup point guard is like Gabe Vincent. Dedmon is your backup center. Like, it's okay. I feel like Herro is kind of the swing piece of whether Miami, once they go to their bench, they fall off or not. And as far as how he does it, I mean, he just has to get those shooting percentages up, you know? Obviously on the catch and shoots, maybe being a little more disciplined, not to go to pull-ups or ISOs as often, but I also think Miami might need that a little bit because their 2 leading scorers are most likely going to be, well, Jimmy, obviously. I guess it's tough between Bam and Lowry. I could picture Lowry taking a step back with the shot attempts a little bit, but they don't have a single dude who's going to give you like 27 points a game. And when you don't have that, you need somebody like Herro who can sort of just create chaos and have random huge scoring games, you know? Kind of being like their version of Jordan Clarkson in a way. Jordan Nwora, that's a super hot take, man. Not a hot take, a deep cut. I would have just gone DiVincenzo. Who led Nigeria with 21 points a game, shooting 48% from 3 in the Olympics. 23 points, 8 boards, 2 steals per 36 minutes. I don't know if I should care about all that, but the 3-point percentage is interesting. Jaden McDaniels for the Wolves. Yeah, the Wolves' power forward position is going to be interesting, man. A lot of candidates. Jaden McDaniels, who you hope can be somebody who can make threes, finish at the rim, and do a little bit off the dribble. I know that sounds basic as hell, but that's the hope. You got Taurean Prince, who I think has always kind of struggled with not taking bad shots and committing on defense. You got Jared Vanderbilt, who's more of a rebounder. I don't know the right answer. And for the Pelicans, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, yeah, their two-guard spot is kind of open. I mean, I assume Devontae Graham is the starting point guard, but after that, Josh Hart and Satoransky are probably more like NBA nerd fundamental players, whereas Alexander Walker likes to shoot it a little bit more, but maybe that's what the Pelicans need. And Mitchell Robinson for the Knicks. Yeah, so the one thing I've seen with Robinson, I saw this thing where he gained like a bunch of weight, and he says he's like 280 pounds now or something, which to me sounds kind of nuts. I mean, I know he's 7 feet tall and he's an NBA player. They're like genetically the 0.1% of people on Earth. But does that still not sound like a little bit much for a guy who we've seen close out to 3-point shooters and just have these moments of insane athleticism? I mean, I'm sure he's going to lose some weight in training camp and all that. The potential as a run, jump, and dunk center, but also an elite rim protector. It's all there for him. And it's just the consistency, staying healthy, all the boring stuff that you need as a big guy. Pokashevsky for the Thunder. You could name like 5 different players in the Thunder. You could go Baisley, Isaiah Roby, Theo Maledon. But I think Pokashevsky's fine. I mean, he's a 7-footer who plays like a shooting guard, basically. Thunder chose to have him focus on adding muscle rather than attend Summer League. Alright. And Chuma Okeke for the Magic. Magic fans are decently excited about Okeke. And an NBA scout compared him to Tobias Harris, if he's playing at the power forward more often. And Thibault for Philly. I feel like Sixers fans would go with Tyrese Maxey. But to think about Thibault some, I mean, look, man, if he can make open threes, if he can cut, grab offensive rebounds, and be able to do just a little bit off the dribble, then he's going to be a big positive. He already is a positive. And Cameron Johnson with the Suns. Yeah, we'll see if Cameron Johnson can really be one of the best shooters in the league. I mean, last year, his regular season percentages, at least, were not as good as his rookie year. You know, is he just going to make threes off the move? Can he make deep threes, contested threes? Can he do the thing where you like pump fake and then take 1 or 2 dribbles in either direction and then take the three? Or is he going to attempt to have more of a well-rounded game? I don't know. You know, pull up 2-point shooting as well is important. Nassir Little for the Blazers. I feel like it would be between him and Anthony Simons. To be honest, I don't have much of a take on Nassir Little because he just hasn't played a super lot. Maybe Chauncey will just like him more than Terry Stotts. Haliburton for the Kings. I feel like this is kind of cheating, but okay. Yeah, Haliburton's great. I mean, the playmaking, the 3-point shooting, even with his weird release, his team defense, you know, closing out to guys, swiping in on ball handlers when he's defending from the wing or whatever. He already has the like Lonzo keep the play moving passes that don't result in assists but help the team out a lot. I think the only questions are just his scoring. You know, can he beat defenders consistently? Does he want to be a scorer like that? And also, will they just, and as I keep saying, will they finally realize that starting Marvin Bagley over Haliburton is just not a good move? And Keldon Johnson for the Spurs. He's a battering ram going to the rim, man. He is relentless going to the basket, whether it's chilling around the dunker spot, cutting to the rim, whatever. He's a big dude. And he did have quite a few moments of like random 20-point game spurts where he'd have like a couple in a row and then he'd go back down to like 10 points a game or whatever. But there's a lot of candidates on the Spurs for this. Precious Achiuwa for the Raptors. Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, people were loving his defense coming into the NBA. The Raptors clearly care about that side of the floor. I think you could get pretty creative with lineups with him and Siakam and Scotty Barnes and Anunoby, just a lot of switchability and all that. As for their center situation, I mean, it's him, it's Kem Birch, it's Chris Boucher, 3 guys who are going to expect to get minutes. They're all going to play, but we'll see who ends up winning out between them all. He went 13 of 40 from deep in college as a freshman at Memphis. Okay, that's something to keep an eye on. Udoka, as Basketball Reference tells me it is, Ozubuki. I hope that's right. That's where I got it from. And Basketball Reference is usually right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a take. 14 points, 9 boards, 2.5 blocks. Shot 84% from the field in summer league. I would assume those were all shots at the rim. If Whiteside begins to slip, very possible. Could see the 22-year-old make a leap. Okay, we'll see. See, Daniel Gafford for the Wiz. Yeah, he was kind of huge for them once they acquired him last season. His lineup numbers were insane.